a pleasure to host two of our Spanish colleagues from the Institute of Marine Research in Barcelona, in Spain. They're here as part of, we have sister projects that we're running. Ellie is coordinating a Mission Ocean European project called Pro Bleu, which works specifically with students and schools. We are coordinating a project called Otters, which is about citizen science, and there's a lot of overlap. So we're in collaboration, and today's workshop is also sponsored by the Spanish Embassy, which facilitated their travel to Armenia. So what we will do today, we have two sessions, one after the other. First, we're meeting with teachers and educators and citizen science practitioners to understand how a lot of this could be implemented in schools. Ellie will also give us an overview about some opportunities and funds that schools could get to run such projects, to finance them. And then the second part of this workshop, we will do an interactive session with SWOT analysis and how we see, or how you think, a lot of these types of projects could be integrated into the courses and curricula that we teach. After this session is over, we'll have some students, both from the British School and from the Cambridge International Schools. We've asked some of them already to think about projects, and I know in the British School you've already gone through this process. Projects that they think they could, or they want to have in their schools, and then together we'll bring them on board. They can share their ideas, we can discuss pros and cons, and maybe we can develop some of these ideas with them, potentially for later this year or maybe next year as well. More ideas can come about, and we want to see also different ideas coming from different schools and how they can be combined on a national level. So without wasting too much time, Ellie Bonfi.
It means good son.
Good son.
In Spanish, in Catalan.
So she's, like I said, the coordinator of Pro Bleu, and I'll give the floor to her to introduce some of the work they're doing.
Thank you, Leonard. Okay, so I don't know how familiar you are with citizen science. The idea of citizen science is that everyone can collaborate with citizen science, taking data. It's not necessary to be a scientist, it's not necessary to have a training. Sometimes it just only have the time to collaborate, just taking a picture, just monitoring, sampling something to contribute, taking some data and send it to scientists to use this data to have an idea of what's happening around us. It's very important because with science we cannot take all the data. It's impossible. Scientists are most of the time writing articles or writing projects to get funding, and we need the collaboration of the citizenship because we are all citizens of the same world. We have to contribute. I think it's something that we should do, contribute to improve the world or the ecosystems where we live. And it's a good combination, the data taken by the scientists and the data taken with the people to cover as much space as possible, to take the most data as possible. So in our research group, we develop a platform that is called Minca. This is a Quechua word that means collaboration for the community. And we want to go into the website, this Minca SDG, because we are focusing this website, this platform to the Sustainable Development Goals. And we use it by the moment to monitor biodiversity. We are very focused on marine biodiversity because our research center is in marine sciences, but we have a wide view of this, and we have data of land plants or aquatic data. It doesn't matter if it's a sea, a lake, or a river. And we try to address also the Mission Ocean and Waters actions, because we are under the umbrella of the European Union on this mission. And we are working on reporting other kind of data, like temperature of the water, transparency, or some kind of environmental data, but this is not so easy to do as we thought, so we are in the process. We are testing this part. The idea is that when you collaborate with these kind of platforms, you help scientists, but also you receive a feedback. And while you collaborate, you learn. Because sometimes you upload a picture of something that you don't know what it is, and you have the feedback of the scientists, and you learn in this process. And then you can share it with the community around the world. So it's a two-way direction of knowledge. Now, with the moment in Minka, we have 11,000 people collaborating, volunteers, different ages. Most of them are adults, because to upload data you should be over 18 years old. But there are schools collaborating, and what they do is to create a classroom user, and they upload the data with this user automatically. We are working on this process on creating a kind of users for students under the supervision of a teacher to be ready to work more with the schools. So this is a process. Now we have around 400,000 observations and 280 different projects in the platform. And we have a website, but we also have an app. So if you go to the field, you can use the app that is in the Google Play or in the App Store. And we have it in 10 different languages. Armenian is not in the one of the options by the moment, but you can collaborate with us translating it. We have developed a guide to translate it into different languages using a platform that is called Crowding. It's very easy because the platform using an artificial intelligence recommends you the translation, and you just have to check and say, okay, this is correct, or no, this is not right, you should write it like this. So it's not like writing every word by yourself, just in an easy way. So if you want to translate it to Armenian, we are looking for your collaboration on this. How it was, Minka? The idea is that you register your observations, you upload it to the website, you share it with the community, but you can speak. It's just not only share the data and that's all. You can comment other people's observations. You can talk with the scientists and other users. So the idea is that there is a dialogue in the platform, not just with the data and that's all. Because if not, people is not motivated. People get engaged when there's a feedback, when there's a conversation. So when you go to the field, you go to Lake Sevan, you take a picture of a plant, of a fish, of an insect, you upload it to Minka. It's very important that you have the geolocalization and the date. And with this and the picture, you upload it to the platform. If you know what it is, you can identify and say, yes, it's this is the name of the species. If you don't know what it is, you can ask it to the community, you can ask for help, and there's always somebody that is a freak and knows what it is. So sometimes you get an answer very fast, and sometimes in 5 minutes you get an answer, sometimes it takes 1 day, 2 days, depending on the difficulty of the species, but in general it's very fast. And when the observation, the picture is identified, now there is a process of validation. We have a data curator, a person who is fully dedicated, thank you, to validating the data. But also we have experts in the community, people that some of them start as volunteers, uploading data with no knowledge, just uploading, and that they get bit by bit more knowledge, so they get the experts. And when two or three of the community, two third parts of the community have validated this data, this obtains what we call research grade, and this data go to global repositories. So scientists can download it, but also schools. For example, a student that wants to do a project, a school project, analyzing data, they can download the data and use it. Sometimes students want to do something related to a river or to the sea and they are not near to, or they don't have the possibility to go to take the data. So they can analyze this data taken by other people. And also, we are working on the process of how to do the citation of the authors of the picture, because it's not your data, you analyze it, but you have to take it. We are working on this process, how to say who has taken this picture, and how to recognize the people who is volunteering with these observations. So for schools, you have different options. You can, for example, build your own instruments, your own devices. There are a lot of options of build yourself instruments. So you can develop it. You can observe, you can take it, go to field the pictures and sample the temperature. And also you can analyze this data as a problem. We have a program that is called Metoda. We have developed it just to analyze the data. So we can train them how to use this program to use data. Or you can be multi-language. You can organize events around, for example, a BioBeat or a BioMarathon, some kind of events where not only the school, but you can involve the families around the school to sample. For example, a BioBeat Saturday or Sunday with families to a river near to you, to a lake, to sample the biodiversity of this area. So it's a way to involve the whole community. It's cheap.
Everyone familiar with the concept of the BioBlitz, what it is? It's like a competition type of, it's not, kind of competition.
Kind of.
You have 24 hours or a week,
Mm-hmm.
some specific time, and everybody is basically instructed to go out and identify or take as many
Take
pictures
the
of
most pictures as you can.
species. And then at the end of the 24 hours or 1 week, you have like a leaderboard chart. This person has 243 identified species, etc., etc.
So it's a good way of taking a lot of data.
In a short time.
Yeah. And we make people aware of the highest biodiversity that they have around them that maybe they didn't know. Because sometimes you say, well, here there's not a lot of biodiversity. And when you do this kind of events, people say, okay, there's more than I expected. At least, well, this is bigger.
I think, for instance, with schools, there's a good potential if several schools come together, 4 or 5, and have a BioBlitz, and then see which school wins the competition at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, and at the end, when the students say, who has won? Everybody, because we have learned a lot. Or you can involve a company to give a prize, for example, some local company that can get some prizes for the winners, so everybody gets more engaged. This is a good way to go out of the school, not only involve your students, also the community, because sometimes maybe students are more conscious of what they have around because they talk about it in school, but sometimes their parents or their grandparents are not conscious. So it's a good way to use young people, children, to get the adults. And in Minca you can create your own project, your own school project. For example, this is an example of a school in Barcelona. It's called Guaramar. They have been funded by ProBlue, by the project where I work on. And this is a twinning project with a school in Croatia. And they are taking pictures of marine biodiversity, doing a snorkeling with the mask and the tube. And then they will compare in which place there's more biodiversity. And they create their own project in Minca. It's called Like My City. So all the observations that they upload, they have their own page where you can see a description of the project and how many observations there are, how many species they have seen, how many people is collaborating. And then the analysis is that you have a list of the most observed species. So there are several rankings. The person who observes most, who has uploaded most observations, which species are the most uploaded and the most observed. And if you don't want to create your own school project, you can collaborate with an NGO or a university and create a collective project. For example, this is an environmental center in near to Barcelona, where Carlos is. They do several environmental education activities with the schools, and they create their own project that is called the beaches of this around this place. And all the students that go to the activities with them upload their pictures in this project. So we have a map of these beaches. And as we are very motivated, on Monday we went to Lake Seval and we create a project of Lake Seval. So we upload some of the pictures that we have taken in the lake, and now you have this project. So if you want to contribute, you have a project created. You just have to create your own picture and upload your pictures here. So maybe you can collaborate with several schools to upload your pictures here. You can create a user for your school or for your class and upload it here. And try to start your list of species around the lake. And we will send you the presentation, so you will have all the links if you want to check out our social media or website. And this is funded by a lot of European projects, because maintaining this kind of platforms is very expensive. And I want to introduce you into the Blue Schools. I don't know if you are familiar. What's a Blue School? Have you heard about it? It's something really new, in fact. But the Blue Schools are schools that try to introduce in their curriculum the ocean and the fresh water, or the water in general, and to raise awareness between the students doing projects related to water. Okay. So there is a network by the moment in Europe that is called the Network of European Blue Schools, that is trying to put all the schools together. And by the moment, there are 406 schools certified as Blue Schools. But most of them are in the Mediterranean basin, as you can see. But this is changing, because every 6 months they open a call to apply to be a Blue School. It's a free call. So if in your school you are doing some project, for example, the projects that you explained to us, these schools can apply to be a Blue School. Because the idea is that you apply with the past project, something that you did the last course, or something that you are doing now. Okay.
So is it the only criteria?
No. This is the first criteria. And now I will show you the other criteria. You can apply twice per year. One is around the middle of January. This changes every time because depends on the European Union, because this could manage the platform. But more or less in January, we will open the call until the end of May. And there's another call at the end of the year, from October to December. And to be a Blue School, a certified Blue School, you have to fill 5 compulsory criteria. Are really easy because there are kind of things that schools do. The first one is that the project does interlinked activities. For example, sometimes there is a teacher working something in his subject. Another thing in another subject, but they are not interlinked, they are not working together. So the idea is that you try to do a list of what are you doing in the school related to the sea, to the water, and try to look like a title for the project, and try to link all the activities you are doing. The second one is that you have to produce a clear output. For example, to create an exhibition, a film, I don't know, some leaflet, something that shows what we have done in the project, product at the end of the project. The third one is that you involve all students. That doesn't mean that you have to involve the whole schools, but if you work with a classroom, all the students of the classroom. It doesn't work to take, we have taken the 5 most clever students and we work with them. No, we should involve the whole classroom, not leave everybody outside. And the fourth is that you should collaborate with a local partner, so it's easy. You have both institutions, so it's easy. And the last one is that you should communicate your results in the social media of the school, in a local newspaper or radio, in a blog, a website, it doesn't matter, someplace. First,
I think there are corresponding to all this.
I think it's quite easy. You know? General schools do all these things. It's just to look for how to put it in the right way. And then there are some optional criteria that you can fill, but these are the most important ones. But always thinking of the project has to be done the past year or in process that started in September and into process. Because sometimes some of the projects are rejected because people sense something that they will do in the next year. And if you have this criteria, you will receive a certification. And this is new from this last month. There are 3 kinds of certification depending on how involved you are. If your project is less than 2 years, you are a blue school. If the project lasts between 3 to 5 years, you are an aquamarine blue school. If it's more than 5 years, ultramarine blue school. But it doesn't matter because it's the same. You are a blue school. This is things that Europe wants to create. In Armenia, there is one school, one blue school in Ashtarak. I don't know. But we want more pins in this map. So I hope today you engage on this idea and you try to apply to the blue schools because it's quite easy. And if you need inspiration, you have several resources. This is the network of European Blue Schools website. You have a handbook for teachers with examples of projects, a lot of ideas. Because sometimes you don't need to create new ideas, new projects. You just have to look for ideas that are working and replicate it. That's all. We don't have to create new things every time and try to invent things. If there are things that are working on some schools, we can replicate it and try it in our school, and then we can compare data, for example, and results. And also, in the UNESCO Ocean Literacy website, there are also several toolkits and books that are also interesting and can inspire you. This is important now because in the world, the movement of the blue schools is increasing. It's something that is getting bit by bit more important. The UNESCO is very focused on this, so we have to be attentive. Now, most of the blue schools are in the western part of this map. But what our UNESCO are looking for is for national coordinations in different countries. For example, Armenia has no national coordination, so if some of the Armenian institutions want to coordinate a national network of blue schools, now there is opportunity. It should be not a school, it should be an institution, a research center or a university or an NGO, somebody with little bit of structure or resources, because by the moment there's no money for this, it's a volunteer work. But I think it's a good moment because they are creating global criteria to be a blue school, so we have a common minimum criteria in the different countries. They are creating a repository of people and resources about this topic. They are creating a map with all the blue schools worldwide, so you can connect with the schools all over the world if you want to think on a bigger project than yours. And also there is a teacher training for free in this website. This is the Ocean Teacher Global Academy. So it's a good opportunity to have a lot of resources, free resources. By the moment, there are more than 1,200 schools involved all over the world. I think it's a good opportunity to connect with other schools and have this worldwide vision. And good news, we have funding for these ideas. There are 3 sister projects related to the schools funded by the European Union. This is where I work, the group. Very sure that it's communicated by University in Turkey, and the light that it's communicated by Company in France. And now there are a lot of free resources next to this project that are focused for schools and for teachers. And in ProBlue, we have a lot of resources for you. We have created a guide to apply to be a blue school. So if you want to be a blue school, you can send me an email and I can help you with the process of applying to be a blue school. We have a YouTube channel with several videos of scientists in the field explaining what they do, so students can see how is the scientists work in the field. This can motivate them. We have created a new catalog of teaching aids. It's new because we launched it at the end of November, so it's really renewed. In this catalog, you will find a lot of resources for free, and you will find the slides, the fact sheets, all the material ready to use for teachers. Okay. So you just only have to translate it because now it's in 24 official languages of the European Union. It's not in Armenian, I think, but you can download the slides and just translate it. So it's ready to use easily for teachers. And also, if you create your educational materials, you can upload it to this website and share it with other teachers. So this is nice, because sometimes you create a good material and you say, I would like more people will use it. No? So you can upload it here. And we are giving funding. We have 4 calls for funding. We have just ended the 3rd call for funding, but now in March we will open our 4th call for funding, and you can apply for this money. Okay. Who can apply? Primary schools, secondary schools, and vocational schools that have legal entities. Okay. Because we asked you to demonstrate that you're a legal entity. And what we did in the 3rd call is to divide the money depending on the countries. For example, the Group A had more possibilities of being funded because we decided that we would fund between 14 to 18 different projects. Because in these countries there are no blue schools, or like in Armenia, one blue school only, and that they have never been funded by ProBlue. And Spain, for example, is in the opposite, because we have a lot of blue schools and we have a lot of schools funded by ProBlue in the 1st school. So I imagine that Armenia will stay in the 1st group. And it's very easy to apply. There is a website, an online form, and then you don't have to think on the structure of the project. You have a description form that you have to fill in English, but it's not necessary to have a good level of English. You can write it in Armenian and translate it with the Google Translator or DeepL. We don't look for good translations, we really look for good projects.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, yeah, because what's more important for us is the project, not the level of English that we have. And our call will open in March, and it will close. We will open at the beginning of March, and it will close at the end of April. In general, you have about 2 months to send your application. We will give 170,000 euros, so we will fund more than 20 different projects. Okay. And we have 3 different kind of projects. You can ask for a small scale project, that is 2,500 euros. Medium scale, that is 5,000 euros. Or the largest scale, that is 7,500 euros. And this doesn't matter if it's a long project or short. For example, a large scale project can be a project of only 3 months, which is the minimum. But imagine that you do an exhibition, you need a lot of budget. So this is a big, this is a large scale project. It's not a long time project, but it's a big project. And if you get funding, we give you the 80% of the money at the beginning. So this is good because you start with a lot of money, and the rest you receive it at the end when you send us a report. We don't ask you for the bills. We don't want to see the bills. You have to have it, but we don't ask you. We ask you for a report and links and pictures. We want the proofs that you have done what you said. We don't want to see the bills. And you can spend the money on, for example, trips, field trips, to taking your students to the field, buying equipment. For example, you need to equip your lab, because you have a lab in the school and you need the equipment of the lab. Or, for example, for subcontracting experts on the field, if you want to do a teacher training, or you want the help of an NGO or university to help you with the activities, for example. So you can spend it in different things, but for the trip, the travel budget and the subcontracting, it's limited, because we don't want that all the money goes outside of the school. We want that most of the money stays in the school, and that you spend most of the money to keep the school to continue the following years. Because when you receive our funding, you can only receive it once. So with this money, you have to be sure that maybe in the following years you have enough resources to continue the project that you set. And you can do a lot of different activities: data collection, workshops, seminars, exhibitions, documentaries, activities, training activities with other schools, competitions, something more creative, all related to water and ocean, depending on your interests. There are schools that are located in the land and they work about the sea because the school is interested in the sea. It doesn't matter if it's far from the sea. And you have to address some of the topics that the European mission asked. This is very easy because they are very wide. And if you want to see some examples, in our website we have all the projects that we have funded in the different countries. So you can see the ideas that we have done. And I have 2 examples that maybe can inspire you. This is in a secondary school in Romania. It's about fresh water. It's a sampling of rivers and lakes. They sample microplastics and physical chemical conditions, so it can inspire you. It's maybe similar to something that you are doing in the Lexima. And also, you have an example of another small-scale project that has done a primary school in France about how to introduce the algae in the school, because it's an area where there are a lot of algae. So then you can take a look at these projects. And if you want to see all the information, it's here in the Blue School website. We will have everything. So I hope you want to be a Blue School after this talk. And that's all from my side. Yeah, I remember this. We are not the only ones that need funding. I forgot them. One of the sister projects, you can apply to their funding also. It's called Blue Lights. We don't know when they will open the call in spring. So you have to check their website. They give 3,000 euros, 50% at the beginning, 50% at the end. They fund the same kind of activities than ProBlue, so I recommend you to check their website because it's a good opportunity. If you write a project, you can send it, you can adapt it to both projects and try to look for more opportunities.
Quick question: if somebody gets a ProBlue funding, can they apply for Blue Lights in the next session? No,
they
it's
can.
just
And
one
we are
out.
in contact. We have a common list. Because now we will have a problem because we launched the free calls, ProBlue, Blue Lights and Shore at the same time. So we are all evaluating our call and we have a common list to avoid double funding in the school. It will not be easy now because it's the one who is the fastest to have the results will be the one with less work.
Any
Some
questions?
question?
Yes, actually I have. You spoke about your app
Mhm.
that allows people to photo biodiversity and to identify and everything else that you are more or less well-known for nature.
Yeah, in
But,
fact our app is based on iNaturalist.
Yeah, but iNaturalist allows you not to put the coordinates there, and this is quite sensitive point because in biodiversity we have some red database species, and the specialists don't want that everybody have the location of those species if somebody occasionally find and make a photo. So why you not allow to put the picture without
You can.
GPS
If
location?
there are some kind of species like this, for example, in our case, we upload a lot of seahorses pictures. We don't.
So you
It's
have
not
the
visible.
possibility
We
to-
put it, but it's not visible for the whole community.
Ah, okay. Because I got that it's obligatory to put a GPS
Yeah,
location.
you should put it because we need it as scientists, but then it will not be visible for the community.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. For the community, it seems like in a large space that it would be the species that you don't know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
So when someone
They see
is
like in Armenia.
downloading data from your platform or app, what to see? Just the average number of species per hectare or what?
The position exactly they don't get by I think by the API because for them it's obscure this kind of data. But we have this the exact position.
No, I'm just thinking about the usability for others, not for the scientists. Like citizen scientists wish to do a project like the school or something like that, and they're downloading data. What kind of data they can open when they're downloading?
All the data.
All
But
data without location. Or it will be visible from there.
yeah, no, this kind of species, no. You have to ask. And if you demonstrate that it's for a scientific project, then you can have it.
So you have the same engine, like the iNaturalist, and the identification rate precision is the same?
Yeah, more or less. Because our platform is based on iNaturalist and we have a group of IT developers that are modifying it. Because also, for example, iNaturalist doesn't follow the data protection laws, the European data protection, the GDPR.
So in Armenia, we're also not applying that.
Price is important.
iNaturalist is a good one platform, and the numbers demonstrate that. But the point is, for example, for us, it's important to continue about the environmental data, about the school projects. So it's very difficult to knock on the door or in iNaturalist and say, okay, we need to do this modification on your platform. I would say for us it's okay, but it's on iNaturalist. So it's our work to take the code and then modify it by some developer. That's the point. That is kind of different, or it will be very different in the next month.
For example, we want to modify the platform like a section only for students. For example, the students can create a user, but this is not a product user, this is a user associated with teacher's user, so only the teachers can see this user and they can It's not easy, but we want students can upload pictures like but taking care that they are minors, so we want to protect them.
Isn't the part of that
Because there's a lot of crazy people.
IDPR when you are not allow anybody below 18 years old to upload data, or there is another concern that you are not aware of?
No,
Pictures, I'm guessing.
yes. And then what we want is to avoid the contact between adults and minors. It's because when you upload the pictures and you put your geolocalization, if you see, for example, my profile, you will see that I used to dive in some beaches because all my data are from these beaches. So you know where I am in general. So this is a sensitive data.
Okay.
Imagine, no? Because in general,
You know,
people don't move a lot. So like, we talking with teachers in Spain, they told us this, no? Like, it's a sensitive data. So
For European project, because also in others, we have a lot of issues that we need to be aware of. Like you cannot post pictures of minors on social media or on a website. Most you can do is take a picture from the back, but the basis shouldn't show.
Yeah, that's how you are identifying that they are minors.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's
In Armenia, it's very hard to identify that somebody is a minor.
yeah, it's busy. We always take the pictures from the back or from the hands.
Yeah.
There is something. You have to take this into account.
It's quite complicated, of course.
Because of this, we recommend to create a classroom user and managed by the teacher, and you upload all the pictures as a classroom. It's easy, but
So, and when you are organizing BioBlitzes or something like that, you are using again the same principle. So the classroom is being shown there, or individual house
no, classroom.
classroom.
We showcase the funnel of the picture that uploading and going through the evaluation. I was wondering when this picture will be publicly available. So on what stage of the funnel? So it should go to the end to approval, or in some stage it will be available, but with some talk that it's not evaluated by you, or
Yeah, like this. If
So-
you upload the picture now, it appears
it's
on
right
the
away it's
website.
appeared. It doesn't matter your so the location part of the question. So it will be right away visible my location. So and if it's like a special species. So,
Yeah, but when you upload the picture, you can tick. No, I don't want to show the geolocation.
but maybe I don't know what's the picture I took.
Yeah, Yeah, but we have a data curator that is checking.
But it will
this.
take time until you check, but those pictures will be real.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like 5 minutes because Xavi, that is the guy that is the data curator, is all the time with the phone or the.
So it's a right away thing. So I'm taking the picture and
You fully relying on your local experts in identification checking or something like that, and nothing else is being used, like any artificial tools or something.
One of the European projects we are working on, it's about using artificial intelligence. The idea is that it can help us to two options. So to do a first identification and then the experts say yes, it is this or no. Or the second option that you say what it is and the artificial intelligence confirms.
Oh,
We are working on how to introduce this.
But this is not yet in your app.
No. Look, you have like a recommendation when you upload the picture. You have a recommendation or some
Yeah, it's
options.
it's the same like in nature, it's like you
Yeah.
out your family and everything, but it's up to you.
But we are working on this because artificial intelligence can help us to be fast.
also what Jami mentioned in the morning, you have thousands of images of the same species. It's easy to train the AI to identify.
Yeah, especially with, for example, fishes. No, that I have pictures, no, from the face, from the side, from the back. Lots of pictures of fishes, so it's easy to train artificial intelligence on this. You have all the sides of the fish. This is something that we are working on, which is one of the European projects. Well, for Peru, you have to apply in March.
They did already.
You did it. Okay.
The results announced on the end of January, we should wait for the results and then apply for the new certificate.
Yeah. Then maybe you are lucky. And if you are
Not me, but
funded,
my students.
if you are funded by ProBlue, you will be automatically certified as a Blue School. You don't need to do the process of applying to be a Blue School. When you do it. Yeah.
And by the way, how long ago we can complete the project to Clarity?
How long?
Views. Yeah. For example, if the project was completed 2 years ago or something like that, is that
Yeah.
fine?
You are still doing it? Or you
No,
did
like,
it?
yeah, they did it 5 years long, but then they didn't stop the project
Okay. The idea is that you send something that you were doing the last year and
last year. Okay.
So this is a good way to motivate if they stop.
So would it be also the next year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is something that will be in theory the following years because the European Union is very interested in creating Blue Schools. Imagine
Okay.
they invested 3 millions in one of 3 millions of euros in one of the in each one of the sister projects, and 3 million of euros in the coordination in the U4Ocean Coalition, which is the group of entities that is coordinating the network. So it's 12 million of euros only for Blue Schools. I think Europe is very interested on this topic. So I think we should be aware of this because there's a lot of interest.
Okay. Until the students arrive, can we do the interactive session very quickly? We'll go through a quick SWOT analysis.
Yes. How many teachers we have now? 1, 2, 3,
Also
4,
teacher.
5. 5. Yes, we can do this. For the authors project, I mean the one we are involved with, Carvet and I'm involved in. We want to identify and to ask teachers during these days, how we can integrate citizen science in the school curriculum. So ինչպես կարող ենք ինտեգրել քաղաքացի գիտնականների ներգրավվածության պրոյեկտները այն ծրագրային լուծումների շնորհիվ, ուսուցման շնորհիվ դպրոցներում դասընթացների եւ ուզում ենք ձեզանից հարցնենք թե ինչ կարող են անել ուսուցիչները եւ ինչ կարող են անել դպրոցները, ինչ մարտահրավերների է պատվում դա անելիս։ Եկեք առաջինը փորձենք պատասխանել strengths ուժեղ կողմերը հարցի, թե ինչ կարող եմ ես անել որպես ուսուցիչ, որն է ուժեղ կողմերը, որպեսզի ես կարողանամ ինտեգրեմ այդ ծրագրահեն ուսուցման միջոցով citizen science-ը դպրոցներում։ Ես ձեզ կտամ այս կրճուն թերթիկները, ձեր մտքերը, որպեսզի կարողանաք փոխանցել, հետո կփակցնենք այնտեղ։ Կարող եք վերցնել այս տուփի մեջ կապիչներ։
Got it?
Stella, they
Sorry?
Yeah, they are here.
You're familiar with SWOT analysis. So we're doing that for citizen science.
Եվ այս կարմիր թերթիկը կտամ challenges պատասխանը դելու համար, թե ինչ մարտահրավերներ կան ուսուցիչների համար, իհարկե մյուսներդ էլ կարող եք մասնակցել, եթե ինչ-որ գաղափարներ ունեք, մյուսներդ էլ կարող եք պատասխաններ ներառել։ Տեղինի վրա գրում ենք ուժեղ կողմերը ուսուցիչների, թե ինչ ուժեղ կողմեր ունեն ուսուցիչները, եւ կարմիրի վրա գրում ենք
High voltage.
ինչ հնարավորություններ ունեն ուսուցիչները դասավանդման պրոցեսի մեջ մտցնելու այս կոմպոնենտը հայեցակարգը հետո բացատրել, ոչ միայն field trip անել, այլ նաև բացատրել կամ իրենց ինչ-որ ենթադրենք Սևանա լճի մասին ինչ-որ առարկա են անցնում, առարկայի մեջ դասապրոցեսի մեջ անցնում են, ինչ ձեր գիտելիքները կարող են լինել ուժեղ կողմեր, ձեր մոտիվացիան կարող է լինել ձեր ուժեղ կողմը, աշակերտների մոտիվացիան էլ կարող է լինել ուժեղ կողմը։ Կարող եք փակցնել կամ կարող եք տալ, ես փակցնեմ։ Հարցնեք, գրեք, գրիչ ես կարող եք գտնել, Արտաշես ջան, մեզ այս թերթիկից մասը Չէր գրում են մեկը։ Եթե շատ գաղափարներ ունեք, կարող եք մի քանի թերթիկ օգտագործել, որ նաև հաշվեն թերթիկների քանակը։ Պատրաստեք ամփոփենք, կարող եք միայն բանալի բառերով գրել, հետո եթե ցանկություն կա ավելի մեկնաբանել։ Մարտահրավերներ ուսուցիչների համար դպրոցում ինչ մարտահրավերներ կան, որոնք խանգարում են ուսուցիչներին այդ ամենը։
Are you then printing?
Sorry?
Are you planning to print?
No, we'll hang his laptop on there. Just so much fun.
One more minute and please let's stop.
Well, workmates now. I sent you this on WhatsApp already. Sent you the thing. So all that we're doing now today is on WhatsApp. Well, just the notes for today.
We have mail in this link.
Oh. You know our WhatsApp group? I sent whatever notes I'm doing now, I've already sent it to your WhatsApp. So it'll have the links of everything. It'll have
Armenian teacher.
whatever it's called. I think it's called Armenian Greece or whatever it's called.
Դեպք ունենք, որ գտնեք։ Լավ, առաջարկում եմ անցնենք հաջորդ երկու խմբերին, հետո նոր կարելի է կարգել։
If you click on the link, it opens. I'll organize it properly, but it's start.
Հաջորդ երկու հարցը sport analysis-ի վերլուծության հասկանան դպրոցի հնարավորությունները, դպրոցի տված հնարավորությունները, թե ինչ հնարավորություններ են առկա դպրոցում, որպեսզի քաղաքացի գիտնականների ներգրավվածության պրոյեկտներ իրականացնեն դպրոցներում եւ ինչ էլի մարտահրավերներ կամ սպառնալիքներ կան, որ խանգարում են դպրոցներին, որպեսզի նման գաղափարներ իրականացվեն դպրոցներում։ Այստեղ ավելի ֆոկուսը դպրոցների վրա է, քան թե ուսուցիչների։ Դերևս կան տեխնիկներ։ Չկան, կան։ Տեղինի վրա գրենք հնարավորությունները, եթե խանվել եք ոչինչ, բայց տեղինի վրա գրենք հնարավորությունները և սպառնալիքները գրենք վարդագույնի վրա։ Usually it's thousands.
Okay, very quickly, then in 1 2 minutes, summarize it. What's happened, you have to look at it. Don't read comment by comment. Just summarize it. Yeah, go in
One major threat would be the last year's small countries. Quite a few of us applying for maybe the same grant. That would be
Whoever is done, I can also freeze it. The sticky notes. Աշակերտների համար բացատրեմ, որպեսզի մոտավորապես հասկանանք ինչ ենք անում։ Ուսուցիչների հետ փորձում ենք հասկանալ, թե դպրոցներում Okay, sorry, I continue in English. So we are trying to identify, we are doing a SWOT analysis, which is often an abbreviation, which can be opened as strengths, challenges, opportunities, and threats, to estimate how schools can integrate citizen science. We are going to know what it is if you are not familiar with it yet. How citizen science can be integrated in school curriculum. So how you can learn about citizen science in schools. Maybe I try to summarize. We have many different answers here, at least 4 categories for challenges, 3 categories for strengths. Some of the strengths are motivation, that teachers mentioned, and the opportunities to collaborate between each other. And also, private schools have more or less some free availability of changing their curricula based on the needs. There are a lot more challenges than strengths at the moment in Armenia. The parents not trusting science, or not willing to let their kids to do these activities. The lack of awareness is a challenge in many different things. And for the opportunities, we have some schools have technical possibilities to do this kind of stuff and do the observations and analysis. Yes, many people mentioned that. And there is an environment suited for this collaboration, and also collaboration between European and international. With regards to threats in schools, the lack of time, findings, challenges with communicating everything with principals, etc. Maybe let's wrap up with this. Continue with the next slide.
The next one we can do very quickly, and then we'll ask Carlos to give us the interesting stuff. But before we give him the floor, I'll ask everyone in the room, both teachers and students, to tell us which classes, and by class I mean which grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 10th grade. By the way, students here, which grade are you? 11? All of them. Okay. So far, everything you've learned in school, which topics, that could be biology, chemistry, geology, physics, whatever, and grade, did you take or learn anything about water? Teachers as well. Geography. Which level? Which grade?
Started from, I guess, 8th grade. Geography regarding the biological life in the water, but not really about the consistency of the water itself.
So water cycle, perhaps you read.
Water cycle?
Because I'm a teacher of geography, I can speak about the development. Please, what you actually want. We have water topic in 4th grade, not in the frame of geography, but in the frame of the subject that is called environment. IM and I environment, because there we are starting to learn about the circulation of water, about hydrosphere as general. Then we have such topic covered in the 9th grade about Armenian water resources in different levels, like 7 is an individual topic there, and rivers and so on and so forth.
This one also geography?
It's the geography curricula, and then we are speaking in the 10th grade about hydrosphere in depth, then we are speaking in 11th grade about hydrosphere in regards to environmental problems of hydrosphere. In the international level, in Armenia, we are accepting IB, International Baccalaureate Program, and there is a big optional topic, option A, which is called freshwater. So it is covering about 2 months to pass that.
Which grade?
It is in IBDP1, it corresponds to 11th grade in Armenian regular school. So in A-level geography, also freshwater exists, but we are not accepting A-level geography in any school in Armenia, so it's just being given for the Olympiads
Okay.
to the kids. What else we have
There is
in
chemistry
geography?
also. In chemistry also.
Yeah, in chemistry we have water, in physics we have water in regards to its characteristics and features.
Anyone knows more details? Which grades? Which?
I think in biology as well, we talk about water and also like water pollution.
Which grade?
I think 11th and 12th.
12. Yeah, ecology first.
Yeah, 11 and 12.
And also we talk about ecology. It's a big topic about ecology. It's both about soil and water as well.
Also in biology class. Yeah, but ecology.
10th grade, there's a whole chapter dedicated to water and how water is processed, how it's filtered, how it's cleaned to kill all the microorganisms in it.
In biology.
No, chemistry.
Chemistry.
10th and 11th grade.
It's the IGCSE.
You said water quality and cleaning?
Yeah, cleaning water, the quality of water, the composition of water as well at times.
In biology, Unit 1, we learned about osmosis, which is used in many water treatment plants.
Unit 1 is?
Unit 1 is out of 6, grade, well,
Grade 11?
and 11 too, so, yes.
Really? You study osmosis? Because university students, when I tell them osmosis, it's Chinese.
Year 9. Year 9 also, you know? Year 9 also.
Yeah, we do it all the way back in year 8. Year 8 and 9 general science does osmosis, diffusion, etc.
Okay.
In ecology, we learned about the effect of mining on water in Armenia.
And this is this one, 11 to
Yeah,
12.
no, 10th grade.
10th grade.
I see the topics are repeating each other in different subjects.
Yeah. Which is good. It gives us a lot of.
No, it's not good.
It's not good. Why?
With me, it's the main problem with that. Students don't want to learn the same thing, and that's why they are starting to learn when they are thinking about the same from different subjects. And
Okay.
you have the students who knows nothing.
Do you feel that way?
I think it's the opposite for us.
Yeah, sorry. Exactly.
Are we only considering knowledge we get from 11th grade?
No, so far everything you've covered.
Eutrophication can be counted in.
You studied eutrophication in school.
Well,
So, in 11th grade in geography.
What are
I'm
my
speaking
students
about
doing?
water purification, eutrophication, and so on and so forth.
Yes. So eutrophication, but not in depth, just what it is and that it exists.
And you said this is which grade?
11th in geography. Maybe 10th in other subjects.
I think there might be a variant. Once you graduate, you forget everything. Okay. Anything else important that we forgot?
Hardness of water. In chemistry also they learn hardness of water.
Okay. Pollution is mostly covered in biology, I'm guessing. Biology, ecology, and no?
And geography.
Geography. Okay. Great. Okay. Yeah. So what we'll do now is we'll invite Carlos. I forgot your family name. Rodero. He's for the student that joined later. He's a postdoc at the Marine Institute of Research in Barcelona. Everyone knows what the postdoc is. No. Do you know what the doc is? So somebody gets a PhD, they become a doctor. You know what a PhD is. Yeah. You do your bachelor, so after you graduate school, you do your Bachelor of Science and Arts, and then you get your master's, and then if you study later to become an expert, you get your PhD, your doctorate. After you get your doctorate, you get a research job, and your title will be a postdoc until you become a senior scientist, or if you go to university professor. Okay. So Carlos finished his PhD last year.
Yeah.
And since his PhD has been working on developing sensors that anybody could use, low cost, cheap sensors that you could use to measure a lot of stuff in the water. So today he's brought with him a lot of gadgets to show you, to give you ideas of stuff you could do as part of school projects, community projects, etc., where you don't need millions of dollars. Okay? So.
Okay. Well, maybe I show you some slides to present something, but all the gadgets are here. So I will put in the table, and I prefer that all of you come here and doubt, ask me or whatever you want. Let me see. The first one, my PhD was related with water transparency, and my research group was developed a kind of citizen science instrument that was do it yourself on no cost. So this is important to measure or estimate water transparency because it's very related with water quality. Okay, and the typical instrument to measure that is a Secchi disc. I don't know if you are familiar with that. It is very common use this instrument and it's very low cost. You can do it. This is a white disc or black and white that you lower on the surface in the water column until you see it. And then this probe is measured. So you take the measurement of the Secchi disc depth. So if it's more transparent, this goes deeper. Okay? And it's very used. For example, this is in United States an example that time series that started in the 60s. And this is an annual average of the transparency of the lake. And I put it there, kind of mini Secchi disc that is 3D printed, and you can mount it by yourself if you take the pieces. And in my case, I did, with the collaboration of my group, a kind of electronic Secchi disc that is called Arduino, and the name it comes because this is an Arduino in the surface, and below in the water column there are an array of sensors that are measuring the light that comes in the upper water column. Okay, so we are measuring here how the light is attenuated in the water column, and well, this is a kind of low cost, cost affordable, more or less, but This is a kind of instrument with the user's guide and the instructions that a student class. Okay. And now we are developing another one that is here in the table that calls CaluPro. It seems like a lot of GoPro in the road, but there are no GoPro because we only take the waterproof case and we put inside the electronic parts. So this is the sensor. There are also the micro SD card and the microprocessor, and we put inside. And this is a lot of modules, independent modules, with a sensor light. So it's the same as the Arduino. We see in a time series how the light is attenuated, maybe in 1 hour, 1 day, until the battery ends. Okay. Yeah, thank you. And we did the user's guide, so it's perfect to manage in a project with the students because it's all the parts of the CaluPro. Here are different parts of the CaluPro, a kind of budget, and you can see here how it's located inside the case. We put the battery inside, connect, and you have your module, independent module. So with only one, you can do it a profile in the water column. So you can manage to download the rope with one module and you can take a measurement. And if you can put 3 or 4 at the same time, you wanna take more information about how it's attenuated the light at the same moment. This is a video. I don't know if we have time. Maybe for later. Another device that I bring you there, it's for recording biodiversity. It's a kind of microphone, or we use it as an hydrophone to put below the water. It's very similar, the waterproof case, and it's with the batteries. It can record the ultrasonic sounds, so it's perfect for biodiversity, for example, for bats, or in our case, that we are a marine research institute. We use it, for example, in the coast to try to record cetacean. And this is an example that we put it in the water in 1.5 feet, and we can record it dolphin with that. Another device we can have here, and it's perfect for this kind of project, this kind of low-cost microscopes, and you can see biodiversity, microorganisms. Well, with that kind of microscopes, you are not getting the phytoplankton, but you can get it to arrive to zooplankton. And we are, Eli and me, we are in the research group that we are working with Minka, that is a kind of citizen science platform. So you can create a project and upload the observations there. And last, we bring them air quality sensors, so it can be related with, for example, pollution, assignments, or subjects. This kind of quality sensors are from Colombia, but I think there are many others that doing the same with or 3D printed or similar, and put the CO2 or particulate PM 2.5 or something like that. Yeah, the particulate matter, and that's all. There are mobile apps for the detection of blooming alga, so you need the mobile to do this kind of observations. And the other one that was a thermometer, because I think it's on. And at the beginning it was this kind of instruments, such this that it's used in the swimming pool, for example, but you can use in Lake Esteban, for example. We use it 2 days before, and we register 2 degrees. So for sure, it can have an error or of accuracy. This kind of devices, maybe it depends in 0.5 degrees or something like that. But with this kind of instruments, you can cover a lot of spatial and resolution. No? So that's important about the citizen science, to do all these measurements, and how citizen science help us to scientific to give all this data. And I think that's all. The video?
Maybe you want to see how
How we-
Carlos work. Sometimes it's funnier than being on the lab.
This is in front of our research center, and this is very common that we used to get the paddle surf or kayak to do the measurements there in the beach. And we show here how we can use the Seki disc or the Kadu Pro. And the limitations, for example, of the Seki disc. Here in the beach, it's very common that you can lower the Seki, but finally arrives at the bottom, so you don't get the distance with the Seki disc. And that's the way we try to develop this kind of sensors as a Kadu Pro or Kadu In. Here you can see how it's with the weight in the final of the Kadu Pro, how it's vertical in the water column, and that's all. It's only to bring you an idea of some devices and try to, maybe with the air quality sensor and biodiversity sensor, imagine that we can create a project for a month. I don't know, up to you. It's only to bring you ideas for you and to say to your teacher, hey, come on, but why don't we can get this kind of experiments? But and this is only how to get data and finally how to retrieve the parameter that we want to measure. It's the KD, the diffusion attenuation coefficient. And that's all. So, after that, I prefer that all of you come here and touch, ask me, I don't know, wherever you want. This is the same. This is the wood. And this is to put, for example, the tree.
It's very cheap.
Kind of them. same. Yeah.
With this e-distance, you measure but here, is there a reference point?
Yeah.
Water
So
loss?
these are the
Like, I don't get
big
opposite measure.
The sensor is
The sensor light is here, and it's light sensor and measure the phase, and TV. So that it's a lot of information that always the light is attenuated between one and another sensor. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So you need the measurement of the movement, for example, in Spain it's between 10, 2, you need the sun, most of the time, yeah. The communication and also to charge no, in this case, you can connect it right? Charge it somewhere in the software. This is the
You've got access now? Huh?
Yes.
Okay, and you could comment on it. How you doing, Denise?
To school and the National Center of Educational Technology and the mental training.
I don't know what is the better. 20 yellow and red. You need
teaching.
Okay. Does that mean anything special?
Yeah, yeah. So we should put it in
Students with maybe the retraining. For example, not saying what
that's the point, because if you put 4 or 5 sensors on the same what we call measuring at the same time, you start
the differentiation.
better if you put another sensor and measure what happens out of the software. But if we only measure what is the difference between one sensor and another one, so if it passes well, that's the same. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be more problem if you do a provider. Imagine you have to down the first method, maybe wait for 1 minute and then go down another method, and at this moment it can place ground or
Lessons plan, scenario, yes.
This is done directly.
the one that is
Sorry. Ministry of
It belongs to
Yeah.
and they have to do this.
Yeah, it's better if you write on the screens.
What about teachers? You are speaking about teachers here?
What about teachers? No. Unfortunately, no. It's the same. It's for
Yeah, maybe that's.
self-training. It has a self-training. Yes, yes.
It's interesting. Is there a specific research
And you see, it depends on the environmental place where you are working. We say what is depending on that, I need more or less 0.5 millimeter distance between them.
I have the capability to do so.
3, 4, 5, 20.
Not like
It's the same. It's the same idea, and this is a very good. It's actually an idea that I have. If, for example, a number of different spots in certain types of technologies, we're aware of it, I think we could lend it. For example, we've got a sensor, water sensor, you've got a light sensor, whatever.
we can share each other.
It makes perfect sense.
But at first we can use this. Then share with each other. Especially the rules for the notice.
Yeah.
Sure, sure. Nou, Hinkel alweer.
Our kids have to go by
10 minutes. Yeah, yeah. No, we have 10 minutes. We'll wrap it up. Okay, guys. Because we need to leave in 10 minutes, let's wrap it up. I want to tell you one more thing, and then I want to get your ideas before you know. Okay? So if we can get back to our places, I'll show you a couple of more stuff you can use. Who's familiar with these types of strips? pH strips? I see two hands. You know what the pH is? Gives you an idea about acidity or alkalinity of the water. So you have strips like this. It's another thing you could use very easily. Anyone could use them. On this one you have different varieties and types, but on this one you have 16 different solid colors. Do you see it? So what you do is you go to a nearby river or a lake or whatever you want to study. You take a water sample, you dip this strip in, you leave it for a couple of seconds, and then you remove it. And then once you remove it, these colors change based on your water quality. Okay? Each box indicates a different parameter. Here, for this case, for instance, we have pH, we have iron concentration, zinc concentration, we have phosphate, nitrate, and so on, stuff like that. Okay? So for each one, you usually get, I can show you later, you get color schemes, and you need to compare the color you get after you put it in the water, which is the closest color you have on your identification. Okay? So you look into this, for instance, this is, let's say I put this in the water, I moved it, it's very bright yellow. So you put it next to your identification guide, you see which color it's closest to, and then that color would give you the number. So then you get, say, pH is 7 or 8. Okay? And you record it. And you do this for all 16 parameters, and you have all the different concentrations. So calcium concentration, chlorine concentration, magnesium, etc. So in a very quick and very easy way, and these are not so expensive, like you can get the whole box for $20, $30, you can already look, calculate, measure 10, 15, 16 different water chemistry parameters. Okay? So this is one thing. Another thing is we have kits like this. This is for phosphate. You know why? You've heard of algal blooms, correct? You've heard that Sevan was blooming in the last few years. It turns green. You know what causes the algal blooms? No.
Presence of fertilizer.
Well, nutrients, yes, that can come from fertilizers or from other sources. So if there's a lot of nutrients in the lake or in the water, then algae have a lot of food to eat or assimilate, and they can grow very fast. If algae grows very fast, the whole water turns green because there's a lot of algae, right? That's eutrophication. You know what the nutrients are that cause algal blooms?
Nitrates and phosphates?
Yes. So nitrogen compounds and phosphorus compounds. This is a kit that measures phosphate. Okay? For instance, in Lake Sevan, this is very important. And the way you do it is you take a water sample, and then you have two reagents. You put the water in it to a certain level. It tells you in the instructions. Usually they come with instructions you can read. And then once you add the water, you have to add 1 or 2 drops, again, it says in the instructions, of these two reagents. Okay? You have the water from your lake or your river, and then you add 1, 2 drops from one, and then 1, 2 drops from the other. You shake it, wait 30 seconds, the color changes. Again, in the instructions, you should have a way to compare. Plotting this one. Yeah. So depending on what color it goes, it gives you an estimate from 0 to 10 milligrams per liter. Okay? So you have to compare the color you get in this tube, see which one it's closest to, and next to it you have the number. Okay? Similar concept to the strips, but with liquid. So this is another thing you could do. And then the last one I wanted to show you was dissolved oxygen. And dissolved oxygen is very important for all the animals that are breathing in the water. If the water quality is bad, you have eutrophication. Sometimes oxygen is depleted, and everything suffocates in the water and dies, right? It's called anoxia. And here, this is a bit more complicated to use, so I'm not going to go into detail so much because I want to also listen to your ideas. But very quickly, again, you have a number of different reagents, okay? And you get a water sample, you add them in, you follow the instructions. It's like a cookbook, very simple, anybody could do it. And then again, you get colors, you compare it to. So more or less it's all the same concept, it's just the steps change. Sometimes they're very simple, dip something, you have a color, sometimes you have to mix a few things together. And then you have to follow, the important thing is you follow the instructions carefully. So if it says wait 30 seconds, you have to wait 30 seconds. If it says you have to measure the concentration in the next 2 minutes, you have to do that in the next 2 minutes. If you wait too long, the color will keep on changing, so you get a wrong number. Okay? Any questions? No. Okay. In the next 5 minutes, I want to hear all of your ideas of what type of projects, water-related projects you think you could do in your schools, in your communities. Don't be shy. Yes, go ahead.
The awareness is a big issue.
What's your name?
Jack. In Armenia. So we focused on making some small short videos of basically explaining the cause, the threats, the
the problems that we have with water wasting in Armenia. So we're planning to do some projects, like little videos, as we did already one in public, basically showing how much water a city person wastes in a day, and comparing it to the usage of like Indian villages or Yemeni villages. And another one that we wanted to do that was a bit more tactical was to create basically harvest rainwater. So we get a tube, the rainwater gets in it, and with Arduino help, it automatically goes to reverse osmosis, and then
You want to do this as a school project?
yes.
Okay, it's very challenging, but sure.
Yes, and through sand, all of the minerals like in the water get blocked. And in summary, we want to make it into drinkable water from rainwater.
Okay. Like I said, very challenging, but I won't stop you. Okay. For the videos you said that you want to produce, how do you want to spread the word?
Basically documenting life of an average citizen and how he lives, how much water he wastes in showering, in cooking.
And you want to use these on social media with a hashtag?
Social media, even on television.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Good.
Yes, good.
Other ideas? Yeah.
Okay, so what we were planning to do, right, is the school could measure the amount of water used by a single student and compared to the average volume of water used by a single Armenian person in a day, which is about throughout like a period of time. But we found out that the average was about 44 cubic meters. Metric cubes. And through that comparison, we can find a correlation. If students use more of that water, what are they using it for? And if that water is wasted, there's a plan to implement to encourage students to use that wasted water in anything else other than wasting it. For example, it can be used in growing plants, for example. That way the school can maybe start its own botany class, for example. And that way students can find that they have a love for agriculture or something like that, shaping their careers for the future. And we'd also like to make an Instagram page promoting that so other schools would be aware of it and spread the message.
Nice. What would you call the plant?
Sorry?
What would you call the plant?
And
come up with a catchy name. It's a very good project. I used to do something like this with my students here at the university. I was teaching an introductory course, and I used to ask them to pledge, beginning of the semester, to do something, change one thing in their lifestyle to reduce their water usage throughout the semester. And I've had a few students who didn't flush the toilet for 3 months, and they got into trouble with their parents. So also be smart about it. Okay, any other ideas? You have 1 minute.
We were also thinking about measuring, collecting data from different water sources in Armenia. So using techniques and equipments like this, like accessible to school students and general students, university students and secondary school. Then comparing the data between the schools. So for example, 2 schools measured the data, collect the data, then we compare it. And we see if there is a problem with the water source or there is not. If there is a problem, we try to raise awareness by spreading it throughout social media or other platforms, that so people could know and try to kind of decrease the usage of chemicals or don't just waste water.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I think your generation are a lot more equipped to use social media than ours. So
raising awareness is the most important part, in my opinion. And to achieve that goal, we need social media because a lot of people use it nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Okay.
Don't remain because in a lot of scientific projects, dissemination and awareness part is not an important part.
So did you all learn something new today? Did you get new ideas? Are you just nodding to be polite or? No? You didn't.
your ideas.
Okay, so I wish we had more time, but I'm sure your parents have everything for you as well. So stay in touch. If you have new ideas, if you want to discuss, you can reach to us at ace@aua.am, okay, or through your teachers. They all have contacts with us. And if you want to do projects like this in your schools or in your communities and you want more advice or you just want to discuss the ideas, get feedback, by all means, you can always contact us and we can have a conversation. And you can follow our news. We have also social media platforms. So, yes.
I've got a question, probably on behalf of the students. Is there a portal whereby students outside of AUA who are not AUA students could actually contribute to AUA research?
No, it's not that easy. We have that for AUA students, but not for high school students. But what I would suggest, keep on thinking about such projects you can implement, even if you don't want to implement them, even if they're just ideas, or if you do stuff yourself. Come up with water saving methods. Come up with, if you doing biodiversity stuff, you can start your own Minka project, like it was explained earlier to your teachers. They can help you with this. And if you just come up with ideas and raising awareness for social media, we can agree on a hashtag. Okay, so we do, let's say, hashtag #MyCitizenScienceArmenia. Can we all agree on that? And we can all share our ideas on social media, and we can collect them, say, by June, and we can showcase them. And we can maybe choose the best 5 ideas, and we invite the people who came up with these ideas to present them to a bigger audience, maybe international. AM. So, but where should they share? What social media platform
What
do
are
you
you
use?
using most? Instagram?
Instagram. Okay. Post whatever you come up with on Instagram. Maybe short videos, maybe short messages, pictures, etc. With this hashtag, we'll keep on collecting them, and then at the end of the year, we'll choose the best 5. And if you're one of the best 5, we'll invite you over to present your work. Okay, and talk about it. Sounds fair? No? No. Okay. Thank you all very much for being here. Like I said, the door's open whenever